Good evening. The true work of art is but a shadow of the divine perfection. Welcome to BMC News Live in English, brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers. I am Vinod Narayanan, joining you with the daily news updates. Today's headlines. The Bahrain International Air Show celebrates a decade of success. Proposal of new rules for delivery riders. Non-Saudis banned from publishing advertisements in social media. UAE reported 5 new monkeypox cases. Magnitude 6.5 earthquake struck Peru-Brazil border region. News in detail. The Bahrain International Air Show celebrates a decade of success. Bahrain readies to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Bahrain International Air Show, taking place 9th to 11th November 2022, with a host of new features and programs. The 2022 Air Show will include enhanced features across the 3-day event, creating more opportunities for business, networking, growth and knowledge sharing. Organized by the Bahrain Ministry of Transportation and Telecommunications and the Royal Bahraini Air Force in association with Farnborough International, Bahrain International Air Show has been designed to reflect aerospace and defense industry demands and will harness global expertise to provide thought leadership. The show aims to engage, retain and grow its world-class delegation program, providing exhibitors with a personal opportunity to network with high-level VIP decision makers, with a conference lineup that will discuss the future of airport and airlines, women in aviation, cargo and logistics, and the space industry. The 2022 edition of Bahrain International Air Show will see globally renowned organizations gather at the Middle East's gateway to the Gulf to plan for the future. The growth in air passenger and cargo traffic in the Middle East is expected to outperform those in all other regions in the world by 2032. To support this growth and regional focus, the 2022 Air Show will see the launch of the Cargo Hub to facilitate the development of new partnerships and business connections, as well as share insight from industry-leading professionals and exhibitors. Key partners confirmed for Bahrain International Air Show 2022. Bahrain International Air Show has signed key partnership agreements with Battleco and Bahrain Duty Free Company for the 2022 edition of the Air Show, renewing their long-standing partnerships with the event. Battleco was confirmed as strategic headline sponsor, and the Bahrain Duty Free Company signed an agreement to become a gold sponsor for the Bahrain International Air Show and bringing together the world's leading aviation and aerospace companies. Proposal of new rules for delivery riders. Delivery riders could be banned from a number of routes and only allowed to offer their services for a limited time period each day under new rules proposed to reduce the number of accidents in the country. Bahrain's 3 municipal councils and the Capital Trustees Board have called for radical action to protect lives after repeated pleas from citizens demanding an end to the mayhem caused by reckless bikers. Reformation and Rehabilitation Delegation visited Dubai. A delegation from the General Directorate of Reformation and Rehabilitation, led by the head of the Reformation and Rehabilitation Center for Male Inmates, Major Hisham Ibrahim Jassim, visited the punitive and correctional institutions in Dubai. The delegation was received by the Director General of Punitive and Correctional Institutions and was briefed about the services provided to inmates as part of the exchange of expertise between the two brotherly countries. Special Envoy for Climate Change participated in preparatory ministerial meeting in Cyprus. Special Envoy for Climate Affairs, Chief Executive of the Supreme Council for Environment, Dr. Mohammed bin Mubarak bin Daina, has affirmed the importance of regional and international cooperation to achieve tangible progress in weathering the pitfalls of climate change. This came during his participation in the preparatory ministerial meeting hosted by the Cypriotic capital, Nicosia, the presence of Cypriot President and a number of ministers of environment and climate, as well as representatives from the Eastern Mediterranean and Middle East countries. Dr. bin Daina praised the initiatives of the Republic of Cyprus to unify the regional efforts and boost environmental cooperation, stressing keenness of the Kingdom of Bahrain to back all international efforts to protect the planet Earth from effects of climate change. He pointed out the great importance accorded by the Kingdom of Bahrain to climate change, thanks to the far-sighted and strategic vision of His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa. He also praised the follow-up of His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, Crown Prince and Prime Minister, and the directives of personal representative of His Majesty the King, President of the Supreme Council for Environment, His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad Al Khalifa. Bahrain's economic recovery initiatives reviewed at 110th International Labour Conference session. Labour and Social Development Minister and Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Labour Market Regulatory Authority, Jamil bin Muhammad Ali Humaydan, delivered a speech at the 110th session of the International Labour Conference. He reviewed the initiatives implemented in the kingdom as part of its response to the coronavirus pandemic and the economic recovery plan aimed at revitalizing, stabilizing and sustaining the labour market. The minister pointed out that Bahrain has made strides in protecting workers, preserving their rights and creating a safe working environment. Humaydan stressed the kingdom's keenness to promote the growth of the labour market after the pandemic by launching a 4-year recovery plan to stimulate the national economy, develop the labour market and attract foreign investment. He affirmed that Bahrain boasts qualified national workers thanks to the great care given to training and qualifying the citizens. The Supreme Council for Environment and the Bahrain Institute for Pearls and Gemstones review Cartagena Protocol. The Bahrain Institute for Pearls and Gemstones and the Supreme Council for Environment organized a meeting with regional and international experts to review the draft national plan for the implementation of the Cartagena Protocol in biosafety in the kingdom. The meeting discussed the national plan and the implementation of the protocol. The Bahrain Institute for Pearls and Gemstones CEO Noura Jamshir confirmed the interest of the Cartagena Protocol on biosafety in preserving biological diversity in Bahrain from risks of misuse of biotechnology practices. Marine Monitoring Unit Head at Supreme Council for Environment Ali Mansour said that the Council and Bahrain Institute for Pearls and Gemstones are preparing a 4th national report and the Kingdom's national plan on biosafety in partnership with the UNESCO Regional Bureau for Sciences in the Arab States Office and the Global Environment Facility. Today's COVID updates.
COVID updates brought to you by Al Hilal Hospital and Medical Centers.
Now we will be back after a very short break.
All your favorite products under one roof in Bahrain at 27-year-old Megamart and Macromart. Bakery, fresh meat and fish, fruits and vegetables, sweets and snacks, ready-to-eat foods, dairy products, grocery or consumer goods. Megamart and Macromart, full of goodness.
Welcome back. Non-Saudis banned from publishing advertisements on social media. The General Commission for Audiovisual Media has issued a circular banning non-Saudis from publishing advertisements on social media. The Commission noted that the practice of posting ads on social media by those who do not have a license for it is a violation of Saudi Arabia's labor law, as well as the rules for dealing with expatriates. The Commission issued the directive in line with the tasks entrusted to it as per the Kingdom's audiovisual media law to control violations with regard to advertising. The Commission monitored the violations of a number of non-Saudi advertisers, including expatriates and visitors, on social media platforms. When their data was verified, it was found that they had committed legal violations as they did not obtain commercial registrations or legal licenses and they are not working under any commercial entity. Also, they do not possess any foreign investment licenses. UAE reports 5 new monkeypox cases. The UAE announced 5 new cases of monkeypox in the country. The official Emirates news agency WAM reported, citing the Ministry of Health and Prevention on Tuesday. The report also said that 2 people recovered from the disease that the World Health Organization called self-limited, with symptoms lasting from 2 to 4 weeks. The UAE introduced robust measures early on to prevent the spread of the zoonotic disease. Patients will reportedly undergo complete isolation in hospitals until they recover, and anyone who has come into contact with infected individuals will be quarantined at home for no less than 21 days. UAE caught food outlets selling expired products and inflating prices. Authorities in Fujairah have taken action against food outlets caught selling out-of-date products and manipulating prices. 7 fines and another 7 warnings were issued after hundreds of inspections of malls, markets and shops in Diba in the first 3 months of the year. The Consumer Protection Unit at Diba Fujairah Municipality seized 87 items carrying false price tags and another 55 expired items. Zoom and Teams launch new feature to make them interoperable. Zoom and Microsoft Teams are teaming up to allow customers to join each other's meetings across both platforms. They have launched a new tool called Direct Guest Join, which allows Zoom rooms to call into Microsoft Teams meetings and vice versa, without having to buy or subscribe to another or anything new. The service effectively makes the 2 platforms interoperable, a buzzword of Web3, considered by many to be the future of the internet, while underscoring the small concrete steps companies are taking to reach this next frontier. The Zoom rooms with Microsoft Direct Guest Login can be used on Android, Windows and Mac-based systems. Magnitude 6.5 earthquake struck Peru-Brazil border region. An earthquake of magnitude 6.5 struck the Peru-Brazil border region on Tuesday, the European Mediterranean Seismological Center said. The quake was at a depth of 616 km and struck about 111 km southwest of Tarakawa, Brazil, European Mediterranean Seismological Center said. Food shortages are next global health crisis. Growing food shortages may represent the same health threat to the world as the COVID-19 pandemic, a leading global health figure has warned. Rising food and energy prices could kill millions both directly and indirectly. Peter Sands, the executive director of the Global Fund to Fight AIDS, Tuberculosis and Malaria, told Reuters in an interview on Tuesday, food shortages work in 2 ways. One is you have the tragedy of people actually starving to death, but second is you have the fact that often much larger numbers of people are poorly nourished, and that makes them more vulnerable to existing diseases, he said. He said efforts to improve pandemic preparedness should not make the classic mistake of concerning themselves only with crises that resemble the most recent threat the world has faced. It is not well defined as some brand new pathogen appearing with distinctive new symptoms, but it could well be just as deadly, he said. The World Health Organization estimates that 15 million people have died as a result of COVID-19. NASA to launch rockets from Australia's north for scientific studies. NASA will launch 3 rockets within weeks from northern Australia for scientific research, authorities said on Wednesday, marking the first time the space agency will fire rockets from a commercial facility outside the United States. The Australian government has granted regulatory approval for the rockets to be launched from privately owned Equatorial Launch Australia's Anaheim Space Centre. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said on Wednesday, Reuters reported. The NASA missions will investigate heliophysics, astrophysics and planetary science phenomena that can only be seen from the southern hemisphere. The first rocket will blast off on June 26, while the others are planned for July 4th and 12th. With that, we come to the end of today's news. Stay tuned for daily news updates in BMC News Live English at 7:30 p.m. every day. I'm Vinod Narayan signing off from BMC News Live. Good night.